Up next on End of the Day Beer Review, we're going to be talking about this year, 2023, and the Bourbon County offerings and where they stand, in my opinion. Check it out. Hi everybody, it's Rich and welcome to End of the Day Beer Review. If you're new here, welcome to all the new subscribers. Thanks so much for joining me. If you like this video, please hit that subscribe button, share with your friends, throw some comments down in the comment section. Today, I want to talk about how I would rank this year's Bourbon County offerings. Now, I did not get the proprietors, so I was so that's off the table. I'm not even looking at that one. And by the way, I just finished reviewing the Angel's Envy, and I'm going to be drinking this as I go along through the ranking. And I have to say, it's very good. All right, so let's talk about this year's Bourbon Counties. We had the 2023 base, we had the Backyard Stout, we had the Bananas Foster Stout, we had the Angels, no, this is the Eagle Rare 2-year Reserve, and we had the Angels Envy Reserve. So I'm gonna take these off camera for a second, and we'll start going through how I rank them for this year. So the most disappointing is the one that I was most expecting to be disappointing, and that was the Backyard Stout. Quite frankly, I didn't like it at all. I barely got through the bottle. I thought it was really bad, to tell you the truth. Normally I don't feel with any Bourbon County beer that I have been, you know, that I've wasted the money. In fact, the only other Bourbon County that I felt like I wasted the money on was, whoops, dropped the bottle, was this one, the 2022 Biscotti. This is not mine, this is, I got it for somebody else. I thought the Biscotti was the worst stout that Bourbon County has ever put out, and I feel that way because I really don't like, you know, licorice. And to me, it was sort of a bait and switch. I smelled all sorts of fudge brownie, and instead I got black licorice. So that is my all-time least favorite variant that Goose Island has ever put out. My second least favorite variant that Goose Island has ever put out is the Backyard Stout this year. Was not a fan. I thought it was sour, tasting. Okay, I don't know mulberries and boysenberries and all of that, but you know, like I expected for the stout to be flavorful and enjoyable, but instead what I got was something that was a little sour and actually very off-putting. So I was not a fan of the Backyard Stout. My second worst was the Bananas Foster. Now, I know a lot of people, the Bananas Foster took a lot of crap online. While I think the Backyard Stout was just a bad beer, I enjoyed the Bananas Foster. I enjoyed the cacao bark in it. I thought the cinnamon was nice. I got a hint of the bananas. It was not overwhelming. Was it that sweet dessert that I think of as Bananas Fosters? It wasn't. But was it enjoyable? Yes. Did I feel like I wasted the money on this beer? No. In fact, I went out and I bought another 3 of them, 4 of them total to cellar because I thought it was a solid beer. So Bananas Foster comes in as the second lowest ranking of this year. Again, that's the lowest ranking of the beers I liked. The Backyard Stout, let me say it again, was terrible, in my opinion. I know some people loved it. Third, the base. I thought the 2023 base was very good. I thought it was flavorful. I did think that it was a little, and I use this term in my review, just a little bit raw. And by raw, I mean, I think it needs a year in the barrel, and I think it's gonna dull some of the harshness that's there with the alcohol. But for 15 bucks where I live, this is the bargain of the group. You know, if I could only buy one of these for cost-benefit analysis purposes, I would go with the base. It's got a good flavor to it. The alcohol is, you know, the ABV is solid. The flavor is, you know, classic Goose Island. A good amount of barrel, a good amount of oakiness. The bourbon comes through. I really, really enjoyed it. Now, the last two are the expensive ones. So where do I rank them? Quite honestly, I could go either way with these two. I think that the second best was probably the Eagle Rare. Love the packaging on it, which I will take into account here. I thought as a bottle, this was very enjoyable, had a nice mouthfeel, carbonation was perfect, the flavor on it was outstanding, it was thick, it was enjoyable, it was the type of beer that you really, really want to experience again. And I purchased a few of these, and at 40 bucks a pop, it's not cheap. Now, is it worth, is it, you know, let's say twice or 2.5 times more enjoyable than the base? I think it is. And for me, I bought a case of the base and I bought a couple of these because I'm really, really interested to see how they cellar. In a year, I'm hoping this is going to be phenomenal. Actually, in a year, I hope these two are going to be phenomenal. I hope the Bananas Foster develops. The Backyard Stout, I just don't care about one way or the other, which leaves one left. And that is going to be the Angel's Envy. From the packaging to the flavor, this is an outstanding beer. You know, it's got a good mouthfeel. Again, the carbonation is spot on with this beer. It's an enjoyable drinking beer. There's a certain amount of heat to it when you drink it. You get all of the chocolate, all of the bourbon that you want. And then there's that background port finish that makes this just an exceptional beer. I don't really engage in the whole secondary market thing because luckily where I live, there's a lot of this available. The Angel's Envy was not the easiest one to get, and I did get a second one for the sake of cellaring, but I'm telling you, this one might be worth going on the secondary market and dealing with all of the BS that's required to get one of these and try it out. So these are my rankings. Again, Backyard Stout, off the table, didn't even buy a second one. Bananas Foster, I thought was good, but not great. I expected more from it. The base, very good. I think it needs a little time in the bottle still to go. The 2-year stout, the Eagle Rare, I thought was great. And quite honestly, I think I could go back and forth between the Angel's Envy and the Eagle Rare. I think they're both exceptional, but I will say the thing that edged it out with the Angel's Envy is that this is a more complex flavor profile. It makes you think a little about the beer, it makes you dive into the flavor, and it is just such an enjoyable beer to drink. And quite honestly, the next time I open one of these, it will be with a group of friends, and we will sit down and we will enjoy it and talk about it, which I think is one of the major components of the Goose Island drop every year, is the fact that you can have these conversations about the beer, and people all across the country are grabbing them and talking about them and, you know, trading their ideas about what they think of what Goose Island has done. Overall, 2023, I thought was a pretty solid year. Was it as good as 2022? I don't know. I really enjoyed the 2022 beers. To the point where, I mean, I think I have 6 or 7 of the Sir Isaacs. I thought the base was one of the best bases I've come across. When we did the blind tasting on this channel, 2022 came out as number 2, only to 2018. So, I mean, I thought 2022 was a really good year, except for the Biscotti Stout, which to me was the worst thing I've had as far as this goes. Now, to be honest, I still have the old Fitz and I still have the 30-year. I have 2 of them and I never open them. And I'm going to open one of them soon for the sake of a review to break it out and see how they went. But I like 2022, and 2021 was also a great year. I thought the base was good, and quite frankly, I thought the cola was outstanding. I know that's sort of controversial with some people, but I mean, I bought a whole case of the cola. Oh, and just to go back to the 2022, I thought the coffee stout was very good. I thought the coffee could have been a little bit more developed, but I really enjoyed that coffee stout as well. I know some people were like, oh, there should have been more coffee. I thought it was great. Maybe it was the difference between, you know, using a cold brew and not, but I really enjoyed the coffee stout. In fact, I'm probably gonna crack another one of those on camera one of these days and see how it's aged. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment. If you agree with my selections, please throw it in the comment section. If you disagree, I'd love to hear how you felt about this year's Bourbon Counties. And I will see you next time. I am still in the midst of enjoying that bottle of Angel's Envy Stout that I, opened before. And I will see you next time. Cheers, and thanks for coming by.